Hey guys, welcome back. So with this one, we're going to improve our system. As you can see, if I hit play here and I walk around, if I spin my camera and try to walk the other direction, it simply walks forward, which is not what we want. So let's fix that now. So let's open ABP Combat and head to the event graph. And what we're going to do is create two functions. The first one is going to be called can move, and this is going to be a pure function. The first thing we want to check is if our player character's velocity is greater than a certain value. So let's get the let's do try get pawn owner. Try get pawn owner. And from here, let's get the components by class. Because we only want to update this when we actually want to, not all the time. And let's get the character movement component. From here, let's get the velocity. Let's get the length. And if this value is greater than 0, let's do greater than 10. Then we proceed with the can move. Compile and save. Now we're going to create one more function. Let's call this reinterp character. This is going to take in an input of type float, and we're going to call this delta time. And next we'll add a branch and check for our can move function. So let's get our can move function, plug it in right here, and let's simply add a print string to see if it's being called when we want it to. Just want to rename this to update. Back in the event graph, I'm gonna drag in my reinterp character function, and I want to get the delta time from the delta time x of the blueprint update animation event. Compile, save, and let's check this out. It's updating when we are moving, and when we stop, it should clear. Great. So in the reinterp character function, the first thing we want to do is let's try get pawn owner again, and let's set the actor's rotation. We want to split the struct pin. Next we want to get the try get pawn owner again, and let's get the actor's current rotation, so get actor rotation. And we want to get the control rotation as well. And we want to reinterp rotation interpolate between these two. So the current will be the actor rotation and the target will be the control rotation. The delta time will be the input of this function, so right click and search for get delta time variable. And the interpolation speed can be something like 7. We're going to split this return value and plug in the yaw, as that is all we'll need. Compile, save, and let's hit play. And now I can move forward, and if I turn my camera and press, it will rotate and update. Great. If I continuously spin my camera, it will update the character's rotation to face forward. I'm going to delete the print string and connect this up. Compile and save. Now we are going to make this top down. So I'm going to open up the ABC Combat and we're going to override some camera values and add some post-processing effects. I'm going to create a function, and we're going to call this override camera. Yeah, override camera. So let's get the owner of this component. We can close ABP Combat, by the way. So get the owner, and from this we're going to get the component by class. We want to get the spring arm component, as that is what is being used in our third-person character. The camera boom is of type spring arm component. So from the spring arm, we want to set the arm length. I'm going to set the arm length to 1900. Now from the spring arm again, we want to set the relative rotation. And we want to set the value on the Y to be something like -40. Now we need one more component, which is the actual camera, and we can update the field of view. So I'm going to change the component class to camera component, and let's set the field of view. And the new field of view value will be something like 70. Head back to the event graph, and I want to bring in my override camera function and add it on begin play. You compile and save, and now if I jump in, you can see we have the above camera, but we can still rotate it and stuff like that. But we will change this in a later video. For now, we already set up the height, but we can see it's clipping through certain obstacles, trying to adjust its collision settings, and we don't want that. So I'll show you how to fix this later. For now, let's add the post-processing effects. So let's create a function, and we're going to call this add post-process. So let's add a component by class, and the component class that we want to add is the post-process component. The target will be owner, so let's get owner of the component. We don't need any relative transform, and we can leave manual attachment to be false. So let's head back to the override camera function, and let's copy this spring arm get component by class nodes and paste it here. I'm going to delete the get owner and connect this one, as it's the same thing. So from the return value, we're going to get the settings, post-process volume settings. And from the spring arm, actually from the settings, let's set the members. So set members in post-process settings. And we want to expose a few pins first. The first one is going to be called focal distance. Expose that pin, and from the spring arm get component by class node, let's get the arm length. And the arm length will be our focal distance. The next pin that we want to expose is the, I believe it's called, aperture, f-stop. And lastly, we want to expose our sensor width. So for the aperture, we can set that to something like 0.2. The sensor width can be 100 and 120. And we want to add this function on begin play as well. Compile, save. So you can see if we're above, it blurs out the parts that are close by and clears your view up for the higher end. So let's say you're transitioning from room to room, that will blur certain parts out and focus on the character's current position. So you can adjust these values here to get your desired result. So let's say 150 and 0.5. You can see it's a lot clearer. So you can bring this down, going to 80, and let's see how that looks. Okay, let's adjust the spring arm length. So head to override camera. I'm going to drop this down to 1700. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to work with this, and let's fix the rotation issue. This is because we can adjust our camera with our mouse. I'm going to disconnect these. But the spring arm starts right here, and that's an issue. So let's do something in the later videos, and we will adjust the settings to this to fit, to feel a bit more comfortable. See you in the next one, guys.